A new change for school lunch, pet food from the local butcher, and the new food foot soldier. For September 7th, 2011, this is Food News Today. Good morning. Immediately following today's broadcast will be our live chat. I hope you'll join in. Feel free to type in your thoughts and your questions during the broadcast. Also, don't forget to download our Smarter Shopping app. It's free, and also there's a new feature now right under the video section, our guide to using this app. Food News Today is sponsored by Conagra Foods, who shares with me the desire to provide the most current, interesting, and unbiased food news. In this morning's nutrition segment, we take a look at school lunch, in particular the beverages and specifically what's going on with milk. Earlier this week, I interviewed Tanya Reamer Altman, a leading medical authority, a mom, a best-selling author, and parenting expert. Dr. Tanya is a member of the American Academy of Pediatrics and communicates complicated medical issues into easily understood concepts. Parents probably know what their kids are eating for breakfast and dinner, but do they know what their children are getting for lunch? Typically, kids get about half of their calories when at school. And this year, there's a lot of changes in school lunches. Dr. Tanya is here via Skype to share with us some of what parents can expect. Being the grandson of a dairy farmer, certainly I understand the importance of milk. But the bottom line is we're seeing a lot more controversy about milk than ever before. What's going on in our schools?
Well, we know that children get 30 to 50% of their nutrition while they're in school. So that's a large portion of their nutrition. And calcium and milk and other dairy products are a very important part of a child's daily nutrition. So there's many changes coming to the school lunch line this year, including more fresh fruits and vegetables, more whole grains, more lean meats, and milk will be non-fat or low-fat, white milk or flavored milk. And I think a lot of people don't realize that milk, whether it's white or flavored, have the same 9 essential nutrients, including calcium, vitamin D, and potassium, that kids really need during these critical growing years. And these are considered nutrients of concern for many children across the country.
Now, there's been a lot of controversy about flavored milk, adding sugar to milk. What's your take on that?
Well, the dairy industry has been hard at work over the last 5 years trying to come up with a flavored milk with less sugar, less fat, and less calories. So when kids go back to school this year, the new flavored milk will have only 31 more calories than white milk. And this is 38% less sugar than 5 years ago. And each carton of flavored milk will have under 150 calories, with the most common being a non-fat flavored milk with 130 calories. And we know that when kids skip out on the serving of noontime milk, they really don't get enough calcium and vitamin D for their growing bodies.
Now, when we look at the dietary guidelines when they came out earlier this year, one of the call-outs was vitamin D deficiencies in both children and adults. How have we gotten so deficient in that nutrient?
Well, vitamin D you can get from the sun, but we're all very good now about covering up when we go in the sun. And the best nutritional source of vitamin D is milk, but unfortunately many kids nowadays aren't getting many of the nutrients they need across the board. They're not getting enough fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean meats, and milk and other dairy products. So as a pediatrician, I'm trying to spread the word to school districts, to parents, that children really need more nutrient-rich, nutrient-dense foods. We have a childhood obesity epidemic on our hands now. Kids are getting too many calories, but not enough nutrients. And by getting 3 servings a day of milk or other dairy products, you can get almost all the calcium and vitamin D that you need.
Now, what about some of the other products that have calcium added, such as orange juice, such as even some soft drinks? Are those a good replacement for milk?
I think milk is really the best way to ensure that children get their calcium and vitamin D. So if you've had your 3 servings a day of milk and other dairy products and you're looking for other sources of calcium, then including some of the other sources are fine, but I wouldn't want to recommend that children drink that as their primary source of calcium.
Thanks for joining us, Tanya. A couple months ago, we told you how the butcher is back. Now the trend may be getting a bit out of hand. In Extreme Retail today, we take a look at just how the local butcher is changing the pet food landscape. One of the latest trends in New York, both sustainable and local, is dog food from the local butcher shop. Yes, dog food from the local butcher. For some, premium dog food isn't good enough, and those who are willing to shell out some cash are opting for freshly made cuisine from high-end local butchers who already supply the best cuts for upscale restaurants. The Doggy Butchers insist that their products from grass-fed and locally raised beef is not just a gimmick, but instead another way to promote sustainability for small-scale local farming, as well as optimal canine cuisine. Jake Dixon, owner of Dixon's Farmland in the Chelsea Market, told the New York Times that his mission is to get as much out of the animal as possible. I'm not sure if he's talking about the cow or the pet. Once a week, 6,000 pounds of meat arrives at Dixon's from farms in the Hudson Valley. Most of it for human consumption, and the odds and ends or pieces that have oxidized or other cosmetic concerns make it into the dog food. The dog food is kind of taking it to the next step, says Jake, who demonstrates the nose-to-tail sustainability aspect of Farm to Bowl, his new dog food operation. All the pieces he used to throw away are ground, roasted, and then combined with produce to make dog food.
This product that we're making for dogs, you could eat and you would be fine. I just don't think it tastes very good and needs some salt, and it's a little bit more livery and hopefully than I would like to eat.
The dog food is sold fresh in 1.5-pound packages for $10. At one meal per pouch for a medium-sized dog, it's expensive. For comparison, a 34-pound package of Purina Puppy Chow can be purchased for around $23. Customers say their dogs have more energy, are more obedient, and more healthy overall. We'll just have to see how long or how far this trend spreads. When it comes to health and wellness, we all have a responsibility in the fight against obesity. Now, a more organized and perhaps more effective program has launched. The Food Foot Soldiers are here. The latest in the battle against obesity is what some are calling Food's Foot Soldiers, the Food Corps, a national service program that aims to improve nutrition education for underprivileged kids, develop school gardening projects, and improve what's being served in school lunches. At the core of the program are the service members, most of them in their 20s, who spend a year living in limited resource communities where there's limited access to healthy foods or high rates of childhood obesity. Over 1,230 people applied for 50 service member positions, and many of the service members have firsthand experience with the communities that they're serving, which is terrific because they understand the challenges from the inside. They just went to work in 10 states at 41 sites from Maine to Oregon to Mississippi. The program is nearly a volunteer position. Members will be paid $15,000 for the year, on which they need to find a place to live and pay for food. Members without other sources of income are encouraged to apply for SNAP benefits so they'll live like many of those who they're serving, but nonetheless will be eligible for over $5,000 worth of scholarship monies. Food Corps says that they envision a bright future for our service members, young leaders who, having invested a year of public service creating healthy food environments for kids, will go on to become farmers, chefs, educators, and public health leaders. These visionaries, armed with the skills to improve school food, will improve all food. Food Corps expects around 60,000 children to benefit from improved food education. Gardens will be planted to get kids excited about fruits and vegetables. Other food will be sourced from local farms.